Matt Damon is ranked one of the highest-grossing actors of all time. Born on October 10, 1972, Matt was raised in Cambridge, Massachusetts, where he found his love for acting in high school. Throughout his childhood, Matt traveled with his family, particularly in Guatemala and Mexico, claiming that his travels gave him an early sense of poverty and disadvantage in the world. Matt wondered how he could make a positive change. His first movie was called Mystic Pizza, filmed in 1988, and he's known for some all-time classics, such as Saving Private Ryan, The Martian, and Manchester by the Sea. Matt got married to Luciano Barroso in 2005, and together they have 3 daughters. He's been nominated for countless acting awards. However, Matt believes that his biggest accomplishments lie within his commitment to development work, stating, "If the cameras are going to follow us around, why not make some good of it?"
According to water.org, every 20 seconds, a child dies due to lack of clean drinking water from adequate sanitation. On a global scale, 1 in 9 people lack access to water, while 1 in 3 people have no toilet. Often, women are disproportionately affected by the water crisis because they are almost always responsible for cooking, cleaning, and collecting water. According to the United Nations, the right to water entitles everyone to have access to sufficient, safe, acceptable, and physically accessible and affordable water for personal and domestic use. 80% of water in developing countries is untreated sewage water. 3.6 million people die from water-related illnesses and disease annually. Less than 1% of the world's fresh water is available for human use. Most water has to be bought from loan sharks or people preying on the less fortunate that don't have access to a faucet. The majority of Matt Damon's development work is in this area.
H2O Africa is an NGO designed to raise awareness about clean water. The idea to start an NGO originally stemmed from Damon's travels to Northern Africa with his friends while helping out with running the Sahara Initiative. It was originally just a plan to fund and raise awareness about the run, but after experiencing the lack of access to sanitation across Northern Africa, Matt Damon quickly made an action plan. The organization was announced officially on September 10, 2006, during an event at the Toronto International Film Festival. In 2007, they partnered with Ryan's Well Foundation, and since the partnership, they've been involved in many projects in various locations around Africa. In 2009, they merged with water.org to create solutions for long-term water accessibility. Matt is a very active co-founder and very passionate about the issues he tackles. He regularly visits the work sites where his projects are and develops relationships with the locals. He's met with many high-level institutions like the World Bank and the World Economic Forum to discuss sustainability.
Matt Damon got involved with the clean water movement after a trip to Zambia, where he walked alongside a 14-year-old girl who was responsible for getting water. Each day, this girl would walk an hour each way to retrieve 5 gallons of water for her family. This girl had dreams of traveling and having a career as a nurse, made possible by having access to water. Matt Damon's co-founder, Gary White, was motivated in Guatemala when he witnessed a child carrying contaminated sewage water from the street back to their home. After witnessing the serious lack of access to clean water, White was driven to create a viable organization that was dedicated to helping those in need with the most essential resource. The idea behind water.org is to mediate relationships with financial institutions, allowing them to finance communities, giving them access to existing water in the form of a well. The people within the communities are then responsible for paying back these companies in return for their continued water access.
Damon's involvement in UNICEF also speaks to his commitment to development. UNICEF is a UN-run program run out of New York with a focus on children's aid. Damon's involvement in tandem with his creation of water.org got him awarded the Danny Kaye Humanitarian Award at the 2013 UNICEF Ball. In the past, he has also been a spokesperson for the UN Millennium Development Goals program. This is an 8-step program of international development goals from the year 2015. These goals were established following the Millennium Summit of the United Nations in 2000. Damon is one of many celebrities involved in development work outside of running their own charities. These celebrities work to boost public opinion of intergovernmental organizations such as the UN. The UN uses celebrities uniquely to promote their programs and initiatives through ads and entertainment.
Celebrity work in development can be beneficial because it raises awareness about the issue through social media, news, and blogs. Daryl West, the Vice President and Director of Governance Studies at the Brookings Institution, points out several trends that have developed, giving celebrities a higher platform. 1, changes in the media structure and how it operates. 2, the rise of new technologies. And 3, changes in public opinion due to the public's lack of trust in political leaders. It can also have positive impacts on people who look up to the celebrity, especially young and impressionable teenagers. Celebrity endorsement could also result in higher donations to an NGO, and celebrities are more likely to give to an organization that they are involved in. Celebrity work in development can hinder progressions because it can appropriate, encourage ignorance, and display misrepresentations regarding cultures and societies in the global south. It may give people in the global north an idea of false circumstances that celebrities working in development face, or it could misrepresent situations in a developing community as better or worse than they really are. It can also draw attention to the celebrity instead of the true issue at hand. The celebrity could get good publicity and the development work could just become part of their identity in order to gain a good repertoire versus using their privilege to aid people in need. Drawing upon our acquired knowledge about Matt Damon and research that we have conducted, we believe that celebrity work in development can have both positive and negative influences in the developing world.
A recent publication in Mathematics for Healthcare Professionals highlights an interview with Gary White, Matt's co-founder of Water.org. Gary explains that Matt began a project called Water Credit, wherein Water.org provides people with small loans of $100, which they can then utilize to buy clean water or build a toilet. They then repay the loan with no interest, allowing them to build a sustainably healthier life without being in debt to loan sharks. This is proof that Matt Damon is focused on innovative development plans. He's not looking to temporarily fix the problem. As article Sustainable Living in Africa, Case of Water, Sanitation, Air, Pollution, and Energy suggests, the problems regarding the water and sanitation crisis can be solved if strong connections are built between the government and social systems. Under the watch of Matt Damon, Water.org and H2O Africa work to build trust between the state and the civilian in order to implement resources and work to develop communities into sustainable, healthy areas. Matt's ability to build connections with the state are important to the development of communities which Water.org and H2O Africa work in. Negative aspects, dependency theory. The communities could become dependent on the aid that is brought to them by Matt's organizations. This could become a problem, seeing as many aid organizations are known for contributing to the sustainability of communities, supplying them with the necessary sources, but not thinking of the greater aspects such as education, maintenance, or continued funding for the supports that they have built. In a critique of modernization and dependency theories in Africa, Mathuna writes, "The hope that faster economic growth modernization in developing countries by itself will benefit the broad masses of poor people that have not been fulfilled, and no concept of development can be accepted which continues to condemn hundreds of millions of people to starvation and despair." Through our research, we were able to find that Water.org works with this in mind, teaching each community how to strengthen and run their own sustainable practices while working with them to keep the innovations funded. This allows communities to gain independence while lessening the dependence on the organization assisting them. Mathuna states that poverty and underdevelopment, particularly in Africa, comes as a result of a collision between developmental spheres in the global north and Africa. We feel that the organizations which display abilities to lessen dependence and encourage independence while maintaining a stable relationship with the community are the most beneficial to the sustainable development movement. Therefore, because the organizations that are overseen by Matt Damon exhibit these qualities, we deem him positive for development.
Joanna Matterson, a research analyst for the World Bank, states that for celebrities to become effective champions for development, the following characteristics were identified: in-depth knowledge and genuine passion about the issue they are supporting, credibility, the ability to connect with all stakeholders, including government officials, international organizations, and citizens, and they must be dedicated to long-term commitment. We draw the conclusion that Matt is a positive influence in the developing world because he demonstrates a great deal of knowledge, as he recognizes the problems that lack of clean water and sanitation bring to communities. He works to educate so that others can share this knowledge. Matt is credible, as his organizations have been built around giving 100% of the donations and received funds towards initiatives to benefit lives. He's very open about the status of his organizations and builds strong relationships with governments and the media. He has the ability to connect with the people he is helping by building relationships with community members and being an active member of the communities he is helping to develop. He also has built the foundations for strong relationships with governments and organizations such as the World Bank, the World Economic Forum, and the United Nations. His high level of commitment can be seen through his years of service, donations, and passion in both areas of development and water sanitation access. Since Matt Damon exhibits all of the above characteristics, we believe that he is a very valuable asset to the world of development, a positive influence on his fans, a genuine change maker all around, and a pretty cool guy. Props to you, Matt Damon.